Thank you for joining us for the press conference for the Kansas State women's basketball team. We're joined at the podium by head coach Jeff Mitty and student athletes Serena Sundell and Temira Poindexter. Just a few reminders before we begin. As a courtesy, please make sure that your cell phone is on silent. Also, please make sure that you raise your hand. We'll bring a microphone to you. Identify your name and media affiliation each time that you ask a question. If you're joining on Zoom, we do have several. Please use the raise hand function for questions. I'll make sure everybody in the room gets their question answered first and then come to you. And recording press conferences on cell phones or cameras is prohibited, and flash photography is also not permitted. So we will begin with an opening statement from our head coach.
Well, I think everybody just witnessed one of the great games in the tournament right now. That was it's hard to even go over all the big shots both teams made. You go the last 10 minutes of the game, and there were just huge shots by both teams and different players. And I'm really proud of our group to be down 5 and to need to really dig deep defensively and make plays, but also very little margin for error at the other end. But we just tried to get them to focus on 3 stops at the other end and in good possessions at the offensive end. And proud of our group for doing that. Yeah, just a lot of really, really big plays in this game, and we're glad to come out on the right side. It obviously could have gone either way, but these games are like that, especially when you have, I think, 2 really good basketball teams, and so excited for this group. They've worked extremely hard. They've been a resilient group. I don't think that you guys got to witness when we have Lee how good this team can be. She's a factor at both ends of the floor. She offensively makes people pay attention, and obviously you don't replace all Americans, and we know that. But she gave us everything she could give us today through foul trouble. Kennedy Taylor gave us a big lift. So. I could go on, but just a great basketball game and just a great win for our program.
All right, we'll open it up with questions for the student athletes. Please raise your hand.
Alex White, Rise Up Sports Media. Temira, you started 0 for 5 from 3, and then you ended up with 8 threes in that game. What do you tell yourself just to have that confidence to keep shooting the ball, obviously knowing you can hit big shots when it matters?
Honestly, it's my teammates that tell me and give me the confidence, because in those moments I do get down on myself. So my teammates come in and help having my back and telling me to keep shooting is really what lifts me up and gives me the confidence. So.
Talia Goodman on 3 for either of you guys. It felt like as soon as Lee got in foul trouble, you guys immediately stepped up. It felt like the momentum shifted a little bit. Did you feel that, and what were you guys kind of telling yourselves in that moment?
I mean, we've been playing without her for a month or so now, more than a month, so we know the team that we are with her on the court, and we know that we can be just as good, but in a different way without her on the court. So having girls like Kennedy Taylor step up is so big for us, having our shooters to stay confident, because we know that that's our strength, and not shy away from that when it's one of the main factors of what's made us successful all year. I think was really big in that moment to just kind of be able to rely on our habits.
Kyle McClellan, KY Insider. Question for both of you. Were you shocked about the zone looks? At one point you already have your double-double and you already have a couple threes. Were you all expecting a different look? And coming out of that late timeout in the 4th, what were y'all preparing for?
I think we were prepared. I think Coach Mitty in the huddle said, be prepared for a zone and run what we're going to run no matter what they're in. So I think it didn't catch us off guard, and we were ready for it.
Chris Beesmore with ABC 36. How were y'all able to come back from the slow start down 7-0 and then, of course, come back at the end after being down 5 or 6 points in the final minute?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all came into the locker room at halftime and we were like, we're in a really good spot. We didn't shoot the ball very well, but we got the exact looks that we wanted. So we knew if we stayed consistent, we were going to keep getting those looks and eventually they were going to fall. Yeah, and then there was one specific timeout towards the end of the game. We were down 5, I think, a minute and a half left or so. And Coach Mitty was like, just believe. So I think this team, we came into this game knowing that we were capable of winning. We never lost that throughout the whole 45 minutes. We knew that we had a shot and we were going to play till the buzzer. So I think just the confidence of this team is what carried us through.
Any other questions in the room? I do have a couple on Zoom. Okay, I'm going to go Zach Deloach. I'm going to go to you first. Go ahead.
You hear me? For both of you, just how difficult is it to stay locked into a game like that where there are just so many lead changes and just big shots and then you're playing 5 extra minutes? How hard is it to stay locked in and what did you do well in order to keep stepping up?
I mean, I think this game we were just lost in the game. Like we knew they were making big shots, but then we'd come and hit a big shot, and then once you kind of get in that rhythm, obviously you want to get stops on the defensive end, but that's a really good offensive team. So knowing that they're gonna find ways to score the ball, but no, we have to come back and push it back at them just to give ourselves a chance. So I don't think it was hard necessarily to stay locked in to the game. I mean, you're just lost in such a big game and such a big moment.
All right, we're going to go to Landon Reinhardt next.
Hey, Landon Reinhardt, KSNT 27 News in Topeka. Serena, you guys, this is the biggest point that you guys have been able to reach in your career. To be able to have on your team's resume this group of seniors that you guys are in the Sweet 16, is that a relief at all, knowing that you've made it to this point now?
I don't know if I would say relief. I'm excited for our group. I once again knew we were capable of getting here. I'm proud of this group, and we want to keep going as far as we can. But yeah, I think we've just worked really hard, and I'm so happy for these girls. Just all that we've been through these last 4 years, especially just a year ago this time when we lost on our home court. We've had that kind of sticking with us in the back of our mind. So to come out here today and get a win, I'm just super happy for us.
Next, we're going to go to Arnie Green.
Yeah, Arnie Green from Topeka Capital Journal. Serena, just wanted to ask you about, it was kind of 2 different halves for you. Early on, you were pretty much the only one scoring, but then the second half, it looked like, I think, you ended up with 14 assists and broke the record. Just maybe talk a little bit about how the game unfolded for you and what your thinking was from one half to the other.
I mean, I was kind of just taking what the defense was giving me in the first half. I found myself open, and I was confident. I was ready to go. I was hitting shots, so I was, that always helps when you make a few shots at the beginning of the game. You want to keep shooting. So that's what was working in the first half. And then I was telling my shooters the whole game, keep shooting. Keep shooting. They have to fall. Jalen, keep shooting. Taryn, TP, keep shooting. So once they, got going and I could use the gravity of Yoki, and we're hard to stop because defense has to make a decision. So, yeah, I don't know what switched, but I think my teammates just came alive a little bit.
We're going to go back to Zach Deloach on Zoom.
Serena, you are now the school's career record holder for assists. How does that personal accomplishment compare to this team accomplishment today, getting to the Sweet 16?
It doesn't compare. It doesn't compare. I would choose the Sweet 16 every single day over getting that record. A really cool record, and once again, credit to my teammates for being able to make shots. To be honest, at the beginning of this year, I didn't really see that record being something that I would reach, but I've been able to play with a bunch of really good shooters, and obviously having Yoki gives me a lot of different options, but definitely way more excited about being able to advance.
Any additional questions for our student athletes?
Jenna Lifshin, Kentucky Colonel. Obviously, you guys played here on Friday, but tonight the environment was way different. Did you guys feel prepared coming into it, knowing it was going to be that loud, or did you have to adjust early on?
I feel like we were prepared. We know this is their home floor, and yeah, I mean, if we played at home, it would be the same way. So I feel like we were definitely prepared.
All right, ladies, thank you very much. Congratulations. You can be dismissed.